turn it on. It is 6:31 p.m. on Monday night, May 13th. I'm going to call the meeting of the River Plantation Municipal Utility District Board of Directors to order. First item on the agenda is to approve the minutes of the meeting of the Board of Directors for past two meetings, April 25th of 2024 and April 19th of 2024. Do I have any comments, concerns, questions? I wasn't at either meeting, so I can't tell you.
No, there's nothing on there that I questioned.
Okay.
If there's no questions about it, I'll move we approve it.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Next item on the agenda is to receive comments from the public. Before we do that, Tim wants to read something to the public,
Yes.
to those in attendance.
Yes, this is rules and guidelines, including state regulations for open meetings. This has been updated in May of this year. A governmental body must hold a meeting to exercise its powers. This requirement gives each member of the body an opportunity to state his or her views to other board members and give them the benefit of his or her judgment, so the decision may be the complete judgment of the body as a whole. The authority vested in a governmental body may generally be exercised only at a meeting of a quorum of its members. A governmental body means a board that is directed by one or more elected or appointed members. A governmental body shall allow each member of the public who desires to address the body regarding an item on the agenda for the open meeting before or during the body's consideration of the agenda item. The term public comment provides sufficient notice of a public comment session where the public addresses the board with its concerns. This is section 551.007. It expressly authorizes a governmental body to adopt reasonable rules regarding the public rights to address the body, including rules that limit the total amount of time that a member of the public may address the body on a given item. The ACT does not entitle the public to choose the items to be placed on the agenda for discussion at a meeting. The ACT permits a member of the public to raise a subject that has not been included in the notice for the meeting, but any discussion of the subject must be limited to a proposal to place the item on the agenda for a future meeting. And then updated in March of 2023, the time, place, manner restrictions are simply that: a rule regulating the specific time in which a person may speak, the location in which that person can speak, and the manner in which the speech can be made. For example, a rule that the public may provide testimony only during that time noted as public comment on the agenda and shall be limited to no more than 3 minutes per speaker. To that end, individuals who refuse to sit down when their allotted time has ended can be removed from the public meeting. Persons who interrupt a meeting proceeding by repeatedly shouting out and/or yelling can also be removed. Specifically, Government Code Section 54957.95 has been added to provide that after the presiding board warns an individual that their behavior is disrupting the meeting and that person fails to comply, stop the disrupting behavior, the presiding official or designee may remove that individual from the meeting. For purposes of this law, disrupting has been defined as engaging in behavior during the meeting that actually disrupts, disturbs, impedes, or renders infeasible the orderly conduct of the meeting, including failing to comply with reasonable and lawfully adopted meeting conduct regulations. The new law made clear boards are not required to tolerate members of the public who refuse to relinquish the microphone or prevent others from exercising their rights. So that's the rules for public meetings in the state of Texas that we've adopted, and we hope that everyone understands moving forward.
So Mark, do you want your 3 minutes, or are we limiting D to 3?
I would like my 3 minutes in comment for what Tim just said.
Okay, well, it's state law, but go ahead.
Well,
Okay, James Baldridge, your 3 minutes have started.
Oh, yeah, oh, wow. Okay, so basically I've been trying to follow the election results, and I do not have any official results as of about 15 minutes ago. So are you going to try to canvass tonight?
I'm gonna defer to our attorneys. We
Mr.
don't have anything
Baldridge, I
better
will
to
tell you, I actually sent an email, I got the results about 15 minutes ago, and we'll discuss them, but I will tell you, I have emailed them, I have now emailed them to the board, and to the other candidates, including you. So you, Mr. Denham, and the 5 board members, so.
So you.
We have a little bit of an unusual situation.
That's all handled through the county. That is not handled through us. Montgomery County
Good.
handled the
No, that's what
election.
I'm saying, Julie. No, Montgomery County has got to do their canvass and make those elections official, not unofficial. It's posted when I checked on it about 15, 20 minutes
That's
ago.
correct. That's correct.
Okay,
He's-
that's all I'm trying to verify, make sure it's understood.
Okay, we
Okay.
understand.
Absolutely, we received the results at about 6 o'clock today, so about 30 minutes
Six?
ago.
How come I couldn't get them online? Do you know that reason?
That's up to the county.
That's,
I can just tell you that they were provided to us by email, and candidly, after I sent an email to the county requesting them, at 6 o'clock, so,
Okay, I got your email at 6:30.
okay.
okay.
The time that the meeting started.
Okay, is that it?
Okay?
Right.
And it
I
appears-
completely understand.
It appears that there's a tie between me and Tom Vanderbilt,
That's right.
okay? And how we
And
go.
we're gonna
We're gonna
talk
discuss
about
it.
that. If we can talk about it under the canvas item as opposed to public comment, I think that would be best, if that's okay.
Okay, that's fine with me.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you.
Okay. Okay, D Judge.
Yeah,
One minute.
I just
Your
like to
3
know,
minutes have started.
I'd like to know why the polling place was changed, or who changed it?
The county changed it.
No,
I
they
said that in
didn't.
all my posts. Yes, the county did
I
change
called the
it.
county, they
Yeah,
said,
so did
you
I.
changed it.
We didn't change it.
That's because
She
I
wasn't
called
even in
them.
I wasn't even here. I was out of the country.
Well, that's what I was wondering,
The
who
board
changed it, because when I
The board did
called,
not change it.
The county made the change.
the county said the mud, because I
I
called
wasn't
and
here.
said, why wasn't there a notice on the church? And they said, because they didn't change it, the mud changed it, the
They
mud
did
should have
change
put
it.
a notice.
There was a notice at the church,
I
there
didn't
was
do
a
a
sign at the
thing, we didn't change anything.
I didn't change it.
No, I didn't change
The county was in charge of it.
it. No. Okay.
No, they just.
And Dee, we did post notice, and actually Keith attempted to post notice at the district office, and it was inaccessible. So,
And I
but we
posted it on Facebook, I posted it on Nextdoor, I posted on both the RPMUD and the River Plantation Facebook page. So, and the county posted it. It was in the newspapers, it was on the county website.
Well, it was less than.
And we
24
had a
hours.
special post put on the website.
Oh, yeah.
So when you would go to the website, there was a big blurb right in front of you with the information on the change, which included the notice, the new address, all of that information. So we did everything we could to get notice out there.
We don't have the authority to change
Right.
locations. We were not the only thing on that ballot.
Yeah, I know, but the county said that.
Well, I don't care what the county said.
Who's the county? Who's you talking
Who'd you
to?
talk to?
Election
Who?
Central.
Give me a name and I'll call them tomorrow. Give me a name.
Paula.
Paula, okay. I'll call Paula tomorrow and find out. Okay. Got it down. Okay, you got 55 seconds. What you need?
Well, I'll wait till next time.
Okay. All right, Mark Robin, go, your 3 minutes has started.
Okay, very quickly, first thing is, I noticed at the last meeting, and I'm noticing it right now, is there's a very big animosity between the board and the people out here. Limiting things, Tim, last week, or last meeting, changed the, when people could talk. You weren't
We
here.
do that often.
Let me finish. Okay, there's been some animosity between the board and the people that want to ask questions. With Tim tonight reading this to specify you're limited to 3 minutes and we can do all kinds of stuff, you guys should want information from us. You guys are elected by us, and you guys should come to us for what we think is right.
I
Okay,
will tell you,
that's
I
it.
was not here last month.
You weren't here.
But
You weren't here.
what I heard was so disrespectful.
Who'd you
When I
hear it
watched-
from?
I watched the video.
Okay, what was disrespectful?
The
Him
way
coming
you
up
were
and changing-
treating these guys.
Oh,
very
he comes up here and
disrespectful.
changes stuff, something
We
that...
change the order of the agenda all the time.
No, that thing was
One-
changed, we used to have public comments at the end, and you were on the board, and I was on the board.
So
We
what?
changed it to early, so you guys could get comments from us before.
Right.
We've got the agenda.
Respectful comments.
We were.
Respectful
But
comments.
Tom was very disrespectful to Dee.
Yeah.
You didn't listen to that, you heard
I
what you
listened
wanted
to
to
the
hear.
whole thing.
He was very and I brought him out on that. I like Tom, Tom's a great guy. But he just, we've had this again and again and again. His job is to answer our questions with a smile on his face, and it doesn't matter if it's
No,
every
that's not
month, every
true.
time. No, he is elected by us, he's our representative.
That's correct.
He should answer to us.
We don't have to do
Let
it
me
with a
ask you a
smile on
question.
our face.
Okay, okay.
ask you a
I
question.
tried to do that the whole time. Maybe you guys are different. Okay, I think you guys should put up with us poor people that don't have the knowledge that you guys have.
Let me ask you
Okay.
a question, Mark.
Yes, sir, Tim.
Last month at the meeting, you were listed on the sign-in sheet, and you were back there being very loud about changing the agenda and not allowing you to ask questions and what have you. When I asked you if you had any questions, what did you say?
I don't remember.
No.
You
Was
didn't
it
have
money?
any questions.
I didn't have any questions.
Okay.
What I get at is, you arbitrarily, or the board arbitrarily move comments to the point where we don't have any input on what you guys are gonna vote on. That's why we moved it to the beginning, is so you can listen to our opinions before you vote on things.
So
Okay.
the only thing they voted on, if I remember right,
Well,
I
it doesn't
listened to
matter.
it a while
It
ago,
doesn't matter
was
what
the
they vote.
fire department lease. You don't want the fire department here?
No, I had nothing
The
against
fire
the fire
department will
department.
be 3 minutes from your house.
Okay,
Now they're 15.
No, the thing is
I don't get
not
it.
okay, the thing is
And we've
you
been
guys
working
should
on
hear
this for a year.
you posted an agenda, and you should hear comments from us before you make decisions.
Right.
You should.
So it's-
And if you don't want it in the meeting, you should canvass all of us, not all of us, you can't do that, but you should get our opinions before you do stuff. We elect you to be,
You elect us to
That's
make
right,
those
to make
decisions
those
for you.
decisions.
okay,
And
but
we've discussed
with
this
the
for a
respect
year.
that you guys will determine what we like.
We can't let you vote on every decision
No,
every time
we're not
something
doing that,
comes down.
Tim.
That
You're-
sounds like that's what you're asking.
No, I'm just saying, put the inputs, get our inputs before you vote on something,
Okay, we're
as
done.
opposed to voting on something and have us just
Done.
yelling and spending
Okay.
time on
Okay,
it.
Frank
Okay.
Duffy.
Mark, it is back to
Frank Duffy.
It is,
questions now.
it is,
Yep.
I'm just
Let's
saying,
go.
Problem solved?
I want to
Yes, yes, sir.
express my sympathies to you and your family
Thank
me
you.
too,
on
me
the
too.
loss of your husband.
Thank you.
And today, there was a crew out doing some pipe cleaning work, and they found a sinkhole in Arkansas Park. It's already been marked off, and I believe they're gonna do some work. I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew that, because I don't know if they got a chance to call and say, hey, there's a hole out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we put some caution tape.
Yeah,
on
yeah,
this
they put it,
afternoon.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
saw it was taped up,
Yeah.
so, oh, they're working fast.
So, our plan is to televise the line first, see what is
Yeah.
actually going on, and then most likely we'll.
Yeah,
escalate.
exactly. My wife went out and talked to the
Yes.
guys, and
Yep.
You
I
guys
just
are doing a
didn't
great
know if
job.
anybody knew that there the hole popped up there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They were actually doing some work and they said,
Yeah,
whoops.
unfortunately, with all the water we had, they're popping up left and right.
They said, whoops, here we go, we got sand.
Thank you.
Can I make a comment just on from Mario?
Sure.
I appreciate him coming out and taking that grate out and stopping the flooding in my front yard.
Okay.
The day we had the heavy rain, he got down and with it, you know, because he was wading in almost waist high water to get that accomplished. And I do appreciate it.
Okay, good. Okay, Jamie Goodman said no, Georgianne Woodring, go.
I changed my mind. I said no at first, and after listening to this, I'm still just stunned at how disrespectful everybody is to each other. I don't really, I don't know Dee, you and Mark, I know your name. It seems like I didn't go to the last meeting, but the last meeting I did at Dee's request, look at the video, and in my opinion, and I have no skin in this game, it just looked like the comment area to the board was so disrespectful. You raise your voice, and I know you said, Mark, that you thought the board was being disrespectful, not answering your questions and taking it at the first of the meeting instead of the end of the meeting. But does it really matter that much when you, I mean, I know you want to input.
Well, it does.
But it's just, you're so angry about it, and that bothers me. You know, that, you know, you used to be on the board, and you know what a thankless job it is, and it's a hard job, and I think they've done a fantastic job.
They have, and I agree with that.
So why do you, it's like you're just picking on them. You and Dee both are just picking. And that's what it appears to be from the videos. And it's just very disappointing that we have to act like that. We're all grown-ups here, and it's just, I know being on the HOA board, you know, it really hurts my feelings, and it's, you know, when people do that to me. And I've had it done to me, and, you know, I wouldn't do it to you, and I wouldn't do it to the board.
I don't mean to do it.
But you just,
But
there's
it
a lot
was-
of anger in that.
Well, it's not, maybe
There
it's my
is-
military background and I'm
Yeah.
used to yelling at people or whatever, but
Yeah,
Okay,
to me, I want transparency.
are we good?
Time.
I'm through.
Okay.
Time up.
Okay. Order canvassing returns and declaring the results of the director's election. I'm gonna defer to Davis on this one.
Okay. Well, as I said earlier, I got the email from Montgomery County about 45 minutes ago now, and I sent out the results just so everyone can see them. But what you will see when you look at my email is that 318 votes were cast. Betty Brown received 67 votes. Mark Denham received 93 votes. James Baldridge received 79 votes, and Tom Vandiver received 79 votes. And so what that means is that we will have a runoff for the second seat unless we have a candidate withdraw or we have the candidates agree to cast lots, meaning, you know, essentially flip a coin. So we have a little bit of time before, you know, what the election code says is that if two candidates for the same office tie for the number of votes required to be elected, then a second election shall be held, right? And so the code also says that if it's not, you know, resolved by, again, the casting of lots, the coin flip, or the withdrawal of one candidate, that there is an automatic recount that should be conducted. And so my expectation is that we will notify Montgomery County that we expect to hold a runoff election and to to determine the winner of that second spot. So a little bit unusual. I will tell you, I obviously have not had a chance to talk to Montgomery County about this yet. I'll point out that we actually called a second special meeting, and I sent out an email to all the board members and candidates explaining this. But when it became clear that we were not going to get the final election returns until close to the deadline, which is Wednesday, by the way, the deadline by which you have to canvass returns, we actually went ahead and called that second meeting, because if we found out today that we did not have the returns in time to canvass today, we would not be able to meet the open meetings requirement to post the notice for Wednesday. And so, you know, where we go from here is the runoff, and I will send out a follow-up email to the board and to the candidates with some more information once I have been able to, you know, speak with Montgomery County. So,
do we not ask the candidates now if they would like to do lots or withdrawal?
We certainly can. Let me say that they have the ability to do so after the recount has been completed as well. And so, you know, I know that they're just receiving this information, and you know, in the last 2 minutes, and so it may be something that they want to think about. So,
what's the projected time frame? Do you know on that, Davis? Is it going to be like November or at the end of May when
Another one at 28th,
May 28th.
another election.
Well, but May 20, they won't have time to get ballots and that ready by May 28th.
I don't know, I'm just telling you, there's another election coming up on 28th.
That is my first thought, Julie, is that I don't know what the timing looks like from Montgomery County's standpoint. So that's something that I'll need to discuss with Montgomery County.
Would you have an idea of the estimated cost of another election?
That's what I was thinking to ask.
I really don't. I think a lot of that has to do with how they plan to administer it, whether or not there are any other runoffs, and how that would work. And like I said, I plan to discuss it with Montgomery County very soon, and will, you know, let the board know as soon as I have more information. So hopefully tomorrow. So.
We will await your information.
Well, can I ask you to do something, and I'm also going to do it tomorrow, but could you call this Paula supervisor
Sure.
at Montgomery County Elections, and I'll call Susie, I can't think of her last name now. Harvey. Susie Harvey, and I'll try to get something in writing on why they're telling people that we changed it, when I guarantee you, I was on the phone with people here every day, but one of them was not Montgomery County Elections Central. So.
Sure, I will, let me see. I have a lot of email related to this election, but if you'll give me a chance, I will. Okay. I may be able to resolve that sooner. So,
Davis, do you know until this is resolved, which can be May or November or whatever, does Tom stay on the board?
That's the way it was in 2020. We didn't take office for several months after we were supposed to.
That's my expectation, but candidly, Carl, the 20 minutes between when I received these results and when I sent the email to y'all, I was doing some research, and I'd like a chance to do a little bit more research before telling you exactly how all of this is going to play out, and I'll also need to talk to really, Julie, I was planning to talk to Susie Harvey, but
Okay.
About the recount and the runoff, And so, I can get that information. You're certainly welcome to talk to her as well, and we can try and track down. I'm not exactly sure who Paula is.
I don't
Susie has
either.
been our main point of contact,
Yeah.
so.
Okay,
Could I ask a question?
sure.
The recount, you talked about the recount. Now, I know that the candidates themselves had to file a recount as of last Tuesday. So you're still able to do that with Montgomery County Elections Central?
So under the election code,
Yes, sir.
what the code says is that, and I know you probably can't see this on my screen, but if the tie vote is not resolved by subsection F or G, which is the withdrawal or the casting of lots,
Yeah.
an automatic recount shall be conducted.
Okay, all right.
So, my expectation is that we will have, a recount, and then, we'll decide where to go from there.
Yeah.
So,
Can all this be done by Wednesday?
I don't expect so, Tom, but you never know.
79 votes.
Well,
Figure one vote difference.
no, 300 and some votes.
May I ask?
So, again, I plan to speak with Susie, as soon as we can connect, hopefully tomorrow, and send out more information on a plan going forward. So,
Sounds good.
we've had a couple of unusual, to have a flood, a serious flood that obviously is so impactful on the community, the day before, and, all the problems we've had, this has certainly been, an interesting election that's required a lot of attention, so.
Quick question.
Mark Robin has a
we're on it.
question.
When you discuss it with whoever made the decision, can you ask them why they didn't take in consideration of the people in the district that could not vote because of the flood? And I know there was a cost involved with changing the date, but because of people not being able to get there and changing the location, a lot of people were unable to vote or just had more important things in mind.
Sure, and I understand that, Mark. I will tell you, even to extend voting hours requires a court order. So these are not things that are easily changed.
I understand.
We get a lot of guidance from the Attorney General's office regarding elections these days. I will tell you, it's a very hot topic politically, as you might imagine. And there were a number of elections being held, on election day, not just the River Plantation election, obviously. So, I think pretty complicated for everybody, so,
Thank you.
sure.
So do we swear Mark in tonight, or do we wait until the election is official?
If we can, I'd like to speak to, I'd like to speak to Montgomery County tomorrow. We don't have the final, we're gonna have a recount, right? And so, we're not ready to swear, anybody in, unfortunately, even though it seems obvious, that Mark has won, because there is going to be a recount. We do not have final returns. So there will be a subsequent set of, recounted election returns. So. There isn't a provision under state law that says, well, if one person has, 30% more votes than the other, candidates, then they, almost certainly won, and so we can go ahead seat them, unfortunately, so.
That would be common sense.
Right,
Yeah.
right, we don't, that's not how the legislature operates, Carl.
Right.
Correct.
Okay, so 3, 4, and 5, postpone till next month? Maybe?
That is exactly right. Remember that we do have the special meeting set for Wednesday. It is conceivable that we would be in a position to have recounted returns, but I think very unlikely. But again, I'll send out, my plan is to send out an email tomorrow with an update, and I'll address that Wednesday election as well and timing. It's very possible that we end up with another special meeting to canvass returns and potentially call a runoff election once we have a schedule from Montgomery County.
All right,
So,
good. Number 6, financial and bookkeeping matters, bookkeeper's report.
Okay, it's a little longer today, sorry guys. From our last meeting, we left off with $57,261 in your general operating fund, earned a little bit of interest, and then bank service charges are listed. Under checks previously approved, these are ones between meetings. We issued CenterPoint Energy, All Seasons Lawn Maintenance, and then Ms. Betty and Carl at the last meeting, those handwritten checks. And then today for approval under this account, we're moving all of y'all's accounts to Central Bank. So we've got checks going from First Financial to Central. This is gonna be, you'll see this a few different times because you've got your operator making, deposits in there for all people paying into River Plantation, your accounts receivable. You've got your tax assessor, so this is a transition, you'll see this a few times, but this is the gist of it. Below that, your general operating at Central Bank, so opening the account there, the transfer, so that the deposit that we're gonna be making from your First Financial general operating fund, transferring from your online account and your Texas Class account to cover today's expenses, and then today for y'all's approval, we've got direct fees for today's meeting, followed by maintenance and operations for April, prepared publications for operations admin, your STP April billing, Smith Murrow for legal fees, and then the Raddick Group for the legal fees, Vogler and Spencer for general engineering, their fees for Plantation Village and stormwater management, refunds for the month, and then we've got J&K for tree removal and Synaptic for surveillance. 2 new blank checks from this account. Leaves our ending balance at $33,988.
Do we need to look at setting that account up on positive pay for the reasons we discussed, or no?
Positive pay, we can do that. It is a $25 per month fee, and then it's mainly for fraud, that's the point of it.
Right.
So if you guys want to, we can switch your accounts over.
But they also automatically move the money into the account as the check's clear, so that we.
Not for positive pay.
Yeah. Positive pay, when you give them a list of the checks that you've written, and then as those checks clear, they automatically move the money into that account to cover it.
The reason he was telling you that is because then I have to go in and actually
approve them. Correct.
And so he was saying to prevent the issues that were happening, I would see them every single day. It requires me to go in every single day.
Correct.
So he was saying to take it off of him to put it onto me, that we could do positive pay that way.
Okay.
Like I said, we can if you guys want to do that. I have some.
Well, I just don't want to start getting hit with fees.
Right. Central Bank doesn't. They notify me, and they email me, and they call me, and we have a really good public funds department conversation there. But
they contact you if the funds get low in the account?
they contact, yes, if there's any kind of NSF, if there's anything that would be bouncing, they contact me. They do not bounce them. They do not let the accounts go NSF. Ever. And we've got, of all of our districts, 99% of them use Central Bank. So I've got them on speed dial. Like, text me if they need me. But also, on top of that, part of the issues is First Financial Bank. We don't have an automatic feeder for your remote deposits for First Financial. We have that for Central Bank. So actually some of the problems that he probably didn't mention to you
No.
was, they had the checks at their bank, but they did not deposit them.
Oh.
We had a courier pick them up and take them, and they were sitting on their desk. So whenever checks started clearing, they contacted me and said, your account is negative, and I said, no, I had this courier to you yesterday, and they're like, oh, sorry, we just didn't deposit it yet. We actually make those deposits in our office, so you don't have a courier that has to deliver them, and we make them all ourselves, so.
So we don't need to go to positive pay.
Like I said, it's up to you
It's
guys.
just an additional expense
sound that way.
until we, yeah, until
That's
we have a
As
problem.
long as we're not having a problem.
This sounds better.
Yeah,
The only push I have for some districts is they have a lot of fraud happening on the accounts. This was happening last year, and I believe it was a Tomball post office. I think I told you this. I think it was the Tomball post office that was having an issue, which is where my office is located. So we started actually driving every single day to Hockley and dropping our checks there, and we have had, knock on wood, actually for real, one check since then with fraud. Now that we're not going through Tomball, so. In those cases, if it was hitting a lot, then it would be, let's go ahead and do positive pay, where every single day I make sure what's clearing. Central Bank also makes sure the 3 signatures on it, they have our checks already, so they're used to seeing them. If there's a different check, look at the check, then they flag those too.
now, are you, these large checks, are you hand delivering those, or are they going in the mail? Those I would be worried about.
Your capital projects funds ones,
Yeah.
we have, I have vendors that do it either way. So I have the addresses for these and I can mail these, but also I have vendors that come to my office directly, and pick up whenever they're large like this. I have some,
Those I would be scared to put in the mail.
and I had the one check that was fraud, was over $1 million that someone was trying to put into a personal account. It did not go through.
Right.
That was a major flag for that.
Yeah, we do it different ways. I mean, once all the fraud started happening, there were other ways for keepers.
Yeah.
A lot of times we just started taking the check.
I'm just seeing a lot of my clients
Yeah,
get that,
and
having
there
that
was
happen.
also setting up direct, like, transfer accounts with the vendors, so that they could be directly transferred into their account. So I have no problem taking to my office and waiting for somebody to deliver. We have a protocol where the person comes in, we get their ID, we get a signature on it and everything, and do it that way as well. So, yeah, but Tiffany does it all day, every day, so
Okay.
her recommendation's more than fine with us.
Okay, all right, sorry.
I can contact them, I'll make a note to contact them and ask them, hey, we're located in Tomball, if y'all wanna come by, I'll hold them there, we keep them in our office, and then same idea, so I'll call them.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, long run. Okay, so your online account, accounts receivable coming through, and then interest earned, that transfer to your general operating fund. This account will also be moved over to central bank. That is gonna take some time as well, like I said. Including your Texas class account, we've got total operating funds of $1,492,000. Your tax deposit account at First Financial, tax collections coming through still, $16,000 for the month, and then you'll set transfer to your other central tax account below. So the very last 2 lines on this page show that you're 92.95% collected as of 4/30. So we are still all outstanding for all years, $136,000. So y'all can still, it'll still keep trickling in there, hopefully. Your next page, capital projects fund at First Financial, earned a little bit of interest, and then you've got service charges there. Moving the account over to Central Bank. We've got that transfer from your Texas class series 2022 to cover today's checks. We have today for y'all's approval, AR turnkey. This is the storm sewer rehab phase 1. This is pay estimate number 2 for them. CF McDonald's for pay estimate number 5. River Plantation joint drainage for the Holly Springs, and the STP for wastewater treatment facilities rehab phase 1. And then Vogler and Spencer for storm sewer rehab phase 1 and sanitary sewer rehab phase 2. Cut that all out. That's surprising. Below that, your investment accounts, your Texas class, brings our total capital projects funds to $2,996,000. Your debt service fund at Texas class, earning interest there, brings our balance to $642,000. And then your debt service park account, earning interest, brings us to $58,754. Your next page, your sewer treatment plant fund, earning a little interest here, and then you've got that bank service charge. Under checks previously approved, we issued both, so one to Energy and one to Republic. Then we're moving the money over to Central Bank. Your accounts receivable, so River Plantation General Operating Fund paying the expenses from last month. And then you'll see today for y'all's approval, bookkeeping fees, operations and maintenance, Vogler and Spencer for their fees, the 2 new blank checks, and you'll see it does leave us off a bit negative. This is because y'all's meeting happened before East Plantation. So it's a matter of timing this month. Don't be too worried about that. Once they meet, then they will sign the checks and they will not be negative. Here, our next page is your joint drainage. Accounts receivable from River Plantation coming through, bank service charges listed, one check that was previously written, so that all seasons, and then moving the accounts to Central Bank. We've got today bookkeeping fees for April and then engineering fees. Ending balance of $11,839. Your P&L is for the month of April. I always like to point you guys to that third column. That's where y'all are sitting year to date, so October through April so far. Maintenance taxes at $820,000, so we are, like I said before, they're still trickling in there. So we're a little under where we anticipated, but we still got some outstanding left. With your water and sewer and other revenues included, we're at $1,322,000 in revenue. Our expenses bring us on to the next page. And that very bottom number shows that we are net profit $387,199 for the year to date. Your next page is your P&L for the month of April. For your STP account, the zeros in the first column and the third column show that we have billed everything out to y'all's participants. And then your joint drainage is the same idea. So the zeros in the first column, the second column show all expenses have been billed. And that's everything on my report today.
Can I ask you to do one thing just for me? You can leave it the same for them if you want to. Can you get rid of the second and the fourth column? That's confusing to me. I mean, it's not confusing to me, but it's harder for me to. It's hard. It's not what I'm used to seeing.
The budget column?
Yeah, second and fourth one.
So you just want to see.
I just want to see the current month, the year to date, and the budget for the year.
For the year.
That would make sense.
I can do that.
Thank you.
I also should mention to you all, and I may have already, but specifically LNS, my company, negotiated with Central Bank those $5 service charges, which what used to be like $40, got pretty high there. So going forward, y'all will see that unless there's a wire or something in this time period transition, you may see that. But also, for all of the accounts that are open, they are matching Texas class rates. So they, which is the highest in the industry, we are moving a lot of funds out of their accounts from Texas class, and they are like, well, what are y'all doing? And we're like, well, we're going to get the best interest, and so they negotiated, they would match it completely. So y'all will be getting those rates on all of them.
Very good.
You know what that rate is?
It is I believe it's still 5.4, 5.432 something. It goes off 4 decibels.
And what we have now is what?
Y'all do have a Texas class account right now, so that it's going to be the same rate, the same for all of your accounts. So if you look through your packet, you'll see, for example, like your capital projects fund earning $1 in interest, or those other accounts that y'all would be signing checks through, that kind of stuff. Those would also be getting that rate. So just earning a couple extra pennies on all of your accounts.
Great.
Good.
All right. Motion to accept the bookkeeper's report.
I make a motion, we accept the bookkeeper's report, the tax assessor's review of investments and payment of district bills.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right.
And Julie, if I can interrupt real quick, just to avoid too much effort tomorrow going through kind of he said, she said with Montgomery County, I just want to let you know that we received notice of a change in the polling location from Susie Harvey by email at 12:50 on Friday, May 3rd. And I'll also note that there were 3 elections that were affected: the MCAT election, the City of Conroe election, and the River Plantation MUD election. So We prepared a revised notice of election that was posted after we received notice of the change in the polling location from Montgomery County, from Susie Harvey. So,
Thank you. All right, number
Welcome.
7. Oh,
2:45 is when I got it.
huh?
2:45
2:45 what?
when I got the notice.
Oh,
12:50.
okay,
Oh, you got it?
okay. Park maintenance matters.
From who?
We got any,
I contacted All Seasons today. They're gonna cut the grass tomorrow and Wednesday. They weren't able to do it obviously because of the rain and the wet turf. But they will be out here tomorrow and Wednesday, and then they will be back out here on the 31st and 1st, which will be 2.5 weeks from now. Because I kind of gave them an elbow today, and I said, it's kind of high, we're not getting it every 2 weeks, and they said, well, you're twice a month, so we'll hit you. Yeah, we'll hit you.
I thought it was because you had the wildflowers out there, you wanted to grow those, let everybody look at them.
no.
Not yet,
Not yet?
not yet.
On that park, on the park maintenance, we also, there's a, out by the Red Bridge where the dip is really low.
Yes.
There's it's probably 4 inches of mud over there. We thought the concrete had disappeared, but it has, it's just covered with mud. So, and it's on our part of the park, so I think we need to send somebody down and clear out and put the shovel or.
Well, I was gonna see if the fire department tomorrow would go to see them, if they wouldn't maybe empty a tanker or something and blow that off of there.
Oh, really? Would it cause more water to go? Or the mud is just.
It just
solid.
needs to be,
I walked it today
Directed.
and it's muddy, but I'm thinking with the rain we're gonna get tonight, I mean,
yeah,
it flows out.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
yeah. I mean, with as
Did you
much
slip and
pressure as
slide?
I got.
Because we went there in a
it was
golf
slip
cart,
and slide, yeah.
and man, that golf cart was all over the place.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
really
thick
thick.
mud, but,
Yeah, it's really thick.
but I'm thinking, you know, a couple rain showers, I think.
Yeah, I'm thinking
It takes care of itself.
if they get a hose and they, with that pressure, that water, they just kinda like
That's
park the ways.
That's how you wash that.
Right before,
Yeah.
right before, you know,
Yeah.
going from
I'll see.
LP's house,
I'll
going
see what I
down
can do
towards
tomorrow.
Muscle
Okay.
Bridge.
Another thing about the park,
Yeah.
Taylor, I want to get with you,
What's
what's the status on the schedule for the sprinkler system?
We're working on it. Things obviously got delayed with the amount of rain you guys recently experienced, things like that. So we're kind of working through that process. It's looking like it's going to be just a wet summer. So we're
Because I want to coordinate it with the lawn people so
Yes,
that we don't sprinkle on them.
Yeah, we're start with the number of zones that we're working with and how long it's going to take.
Right, you
and
mentioned that last month.
And then we were going to bring it back to the lawn company to just say, when are you cutting? And so that way we've got 2 sources of information and then figure out what works best.
Okay,
But because you guys are running it off of potable water, we're taking great care because, you know, it's still costing you guys some money for pumping sheets and things like that. So if we don't have to use it and we're getting rain like this, there's no reason to use it, except for, you know, sparingly to keep things moving.
right,
So,
okay.
Well,
Yeah, sure.
while you were out yesterday, what's it look like over there behind Dee's house? How bad is it messed up over there?
It's,
Not, oh, okay.
It's walkable.
I think one
very
other thing we
walkable
should
by
note
our,
is, we had that tree project going on in Limbs, and that's obviously been delayed because of the rain.
Right,
I mean, he's got a trailer that weighs 7,000 pounds, he's gotta pull it,
yeah,
and that's gonna just make big ruts.
yeah,
He asked me about it, I said, well, wait until it dries up a
Yeah.
little bit.
absolutely.
yeah.
We don't want to damage
Yeah.
Charleston.
All right,
Okay.
anything else on park matters? All right, operators report. Mario.
Good evening, everyone. Got the April report in front of me. Total connections of 977, 15 vacancies. The revenues totaling at $66,277.16. We have water production of $7,846,000. We're at 93% accountable this month. We had 2 leaks repaired throughout the month of April. 6 bacteriological samples taken, all came back good. Below that, we have our wastewater treatment numbers. Everything is working within parameters, no excursions or breaches. We had almost 7 inches of rain and we operate at 65% of our permitted capacity. Almost 2.1 or 2 million gallons of reuse. And then below that, we have our aged receivables along with our consumption and our account charge below.
So for consumption, we don't even have anybody at 30,000 this month?
Not this month. We didn't have one this month, either last month. I don't think.
Rain, look at the rain.
Why
It's been
not?
real wet.
I know. But
That's 2
with
months
no
in a row.
50, no 40, no 30, and barely anybody at 20.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
it is.
223.
Okay.
We'll see, hopefully, like I said, hopefully it's a wet summer and we don't have to go through another drought. I'm sure everyone knows, but we did have two main breaks on Saturday and Sunday, the weekend of the flood. It's funny, they broke the exact same way in two different spots, so those were repaired. And then the road collapse on Brandon, Taylor actually showed up right as we were wrapping it up.
I'll see how it is.
He showed up. He showed up.
I showed up and then
Just happened to
it
be
was done.
showing up.
It was done.
I told Connie to dig it back up because the engineer was
That's
here, they
right.
looked at me sideways. But we did replace the line from the manhole all the way to the edge of the street, pipe looked good. We resealed the outside. Sometime this week, we're gonna reseal the inside of that manhole.
Well, I wanted to thank you for going out to the house on River Plantation. We had a kind of an emergency out there. The lady had piled all of her debris on top of the water main. And so to get it out to the curb, which you needed to do, we had a guy, a volunteer,
With skid steer.
with the skid
Oh,
steer
God,
come out
another one?
and move it off.
And
of
move the manhole and everything?
No,
It was just the.
he just busted the line, but it wasn't his fault because he didn't know the line was there. It wasn't the homeowner's fault and it wasn't the people that had requested it. So I asked Mario if he would go out there and fix it because it was going everywhere. Water was spewing everywhere. It was fresh water, so we needed to stop. So he was able to get out there and fix it.
Okay. That other thing that we had a repeat of, that I don't want to talk about in public,
Yeah.
talk about in private, was that before the last meeting or after the last meeting, do you remember?
It was after.
After, okay. So we do need to talk about something in executive session then, so, okay.
Mariel, can I get the
Is that on
highlights for
Natchez?
the newsletter?
Yes.
Huh?
Is that on Natchez?
No.
Uh, I have some pretty cool pictures, so I'll send your way.
No, is there a problem on Natchez?
No, but they repaired something that they fixed
Oh,
6 months ago, a year ago. I just noticed when I walked through there. It
Oh.
was-
yeah, I know, yeah. No, it's something else, so, okay.
I'll make a motion, we accept the operator's report.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Engineers report.
Alrighty, on the permit side of things, on B, no update, but that permit renewal is required in September, so essentially in TCQ's wisdom, they never approved the original permit, but now it's expired, and so we have to go through a new process. Talked about this a little bit earlier in the year. So we're putting together a proposal to build you guys a new permit that we have to submit. There's a new process, so we're still trying to figure out what that process is. They're changing over online systems for the submittal.
Okay.
Hopefully it cleans it up. Nothing new on the East Ditch FEMA work. The East Ditch maintenance, the next cleaning schedule would be July 2024. Wastewater treatment plant rehab, the contracts have been routed to the contractor that actually came back to our office late last week.
I got a question on the East Ditch. Just down here to low water, it looked like there was a big slab of concrete laying up on the side. Is that new? It looked like a new one.
No, sir. It's been like that for about 6 months now.
Must have been moved or something.
Look, the water
It was-
moved it.
Yeah, it was already
All of
cracking, and then after January's flood, it collapsed, and then this other flood just made it worse.
Okay, guys, I noticed that's not.
Can I add something real quick? On my walk around under the Mosswood Bridge, there's a telephone pole that is blocking flow.
I know.
I don't know if,
That the county ends, that's
yeah, I
the
know,
county.
county, whatever, but.
Yeah.
Yeah. In Seward Creek, is that the one?
Yeah, yeah. I noticed it this morning, I'm going, that's a telephone pole. That's not a tree, it's a telephone pole.
Holly Springs drainage issue, the contracts, we actually received those contracts back Friday. I didn't have it, but I'm gonna route them to you for electronic signatures. We also sent the meets and bounds of the easement to the attorney for preparation for that, so we're well underway with that project. District project, sanitary sewer rehab phase 2, that construction's been delayed due to recent flooding. So they called me, we're working on that. We're just trying not to encumber the homeowners essentially that are rebuilding. So I told them, great, awesome, we'll come back to it. And they're more than happy to delay it as necessary to help the homeowners. Charleston Park Irrigation, working on a contract to put together the maintenance schedule. The storm sewer phase 1 rehab construction still underway. We have pay application number 2 in the amount of $505, $936, and $80. They've essentially completed 95% of the work. There will be probably one more pay application, and now we're hounding them about doing the repair to the area, so we'll start seeing grass grow and get that growing and established well before anything. They still need to put the fence around that concrete box as well. So there's a couple of touch-up items that we're hounding them about. I do have change order number 3. This is a change order we talked about, but it was for the 54-inch line, just to make it official, cross T's, dot I's. Water plant number 2, electrical upgrades. We have application number 5 in the amount of $20,250 that we recommend payment. We do have change order number 1. This is just for an extension of days to make sure that we stay within their days range. This is due to the delay regarding the motor control center is the main thing, but obviously the flood did not help the situation as far as their ability to continue to repair things. And then Pine Township Village drainage, we do request authorization to bid. We're probably about 85% done with those plans, but since this meeting met so fast, I'd hope to have them complete, but we'll have them complete and bids for your June meeting. Moving on to the 10-year, just a placeholder here to discuss bonds at the June meeting. Julie, you weren't here last time. Right. You may have saw it in the video. Your account shows $2.9 million.
But I'm sure
but everything is earmarked. We have about $300,000 that's not earmarked on my last kind of calculation of everything. So, and we're working. Me and Tiffany are working to clean up some of that stuff as well.
Yeah, just keep throwing more work at it. So.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry. The East Ditch sinkhole project, or the East Ditch sinkholes. So I got with several contractors and I got them to come out here. I did get a proposal that I don't have included in my packet. I can send to you guys. The proposed plan, based on their experience dealing with these issues, is to seal the joints fully, bring in clay to pack in the hole, and then layer on top of that to seal everything up. And the price tag for that to do both the one located on 592 Stonewall Jackson Bend and the Fairway Court, which is right now the most important ones that I know to date, is $8,850.
So Fairway Court, is that the one where the sinkhole's right on her back fence?
That's correct, yes.
So we haven't done anything, or
we were going to the week that the rain came.
Yes.
So it's probably, I mean, the water came right over to the top of that thing again, so I'm not sure what they're.
Yeah. Right. So that didn't get done. So
now,
weirdly enough, it gave us time to get a price actually for, and then because this meeting met so fast, we were able to get everything done without having to do 2 repairs essentially.
And so when are you planning on doing that?
As soon as I tell them, he was saying he could be out here today. He'll be out here as soon as tomorrow. He's gonna move up pretty fast for me. I think that was a really, really good price for sealing those joints and getting that fixed.
So do we need to approve that?
Yes.
Okay.
That is all I have. Just a quick run through. If you guys want to do one vote, you got change order number 3. Well, no, that's already been approved. The $505,000 pay application number 2. To the storm sewer rehab. The $20,000 for the water plant 2 electrical upgrades. The change order number 1 for the extension of days. The request for authorization to bid for the Plantation Village, and then the $8,850 for the work on the sinkholes.
On the last page of your packet, did you catch who you addressed that to? The letter.
Oh.
The last page.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm so sorry.
What was that?
That one was left over. It was accidentally addressed to Miss Morrison. Good catch.
No, not that one.
You didn't know Tiffany identified as Morrison?
This one's right.
I apologize. I apologize. That's
All right, so So we need to,
Does that mean it got mailed to her, or?
No, it was just email. I emailed them directly to
Okay,
the bookkeeper.
all right. I just wanna make sure that we get it
Yeah, good catch.
properly.
This one,
and then
Thanks.
that for 20,000.
Yep.
and then this one.
Yep,
Change
yep,
order.
yep, yep, watch it out for you.
And actually,
And then,
Yep.
okay, so I make a motion, we do approve the pay application in the amount of $505,936.80. Also the pay application for $20,250, and also the change order for the extension on the delivery time, as well as the fixing the sinkhole on the sinkhole issues for Fairway Court and Stone Jackson. Yeah.
Is that all of them?
that's it.
One caveat, Davis, I don't know, your comfort with this, would you be okay with us passing that sinkhole contract through MOC so that we don't have to worry about any sort of contracts or anything with it on our end? I just don't want to delay the project at all.
Yeah, I mean, the board can certainly instruct MOC to go get the work done and give them a not to exceed price if that's what they want to do.
It would be that $8,850. He would use the same contractor. It just wouldn't have to go through our contract process.
That's, if MOC is comfortable with that, then that's fine with me.
Have you talked to Keith?
No, it's Bob. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you know who it is? Okay.
So then we'll
Okay.
need to get that approved to pass it on to MOC for $8,850.
So not to exceed.
Not to exceed.
Yeah.
He can go less if he wants.
Absolutely.
That's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay?
All right, do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Then we need to pass the engineer's report in general, right?
Right.
Taylor, I got
Go ahead.
two questions. First one on the ditch, the FEMA ditch work. What's gonna happen with the bridges that are across there when that actually does happen? Is that part of the plan?
As far as just the roadway bridges
No.
or the golf course
too.
bridges, I don't know of any repairs directly under those bridges, so there would be nothing done with them, to my extent, my knowledge. If there were major damages under them, then we probably would have already talked to the golf course a little bit about those. But our general practice is to repair things back to
And the bridges themselves belong to the country club, not us.
Yeah, but
We're gonna tear out, if we're gonna tear out underneath them.
There's no major repairs that I know of underneath those bridges.
Great. Second question is on hole number 8, there's I think it's called a retention pond there. It has the drain for it has some walls that come up to keep the level at a certain level, and those walls have collapsed.
Okay.
Is that something important that needs to be addressed? Because what's happening is it's not retaining as much water as it's designed to.
Right, River Plantation, from the plans I look at, have no actual detention. That would have been put in place, in my opinion, would have been put in place by the golf course to maintain their level of the lake.
Okay.
For purposes of the golf course, not for drainage purposes.
Okay, because I see a big drain pipe comes right into that.
Mhm.
from the
Yeah, I mean, in these scenarios where the golf course and the subdivision were kind of built in unison, there were a lot of handshake agreements to say, hey, run the storm through here, so we've always treated those as kind of, we didn't need the pond there, so anything related to the pond usually falls on the golf course when these entities become separated.
Dave will take care of it.
Good to know.
You're funny.
Okay. Motion to approve the engineer's report.
I'll make a motion, we accept the engineer's report as listed.
Have a second?
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, order designating district office.
Okay, we have never designated our office as an official district office, but now that we are leasing the building to the ESD, and we will be really the records keeping location, we're gonna keep everything electronically, but records keeping location, just for compliance reasons, it would be good to designate our office as a district office. I'll add that in the order on page 2, you will see that we confirm the designation of 610 River Plantation Drive as an office of the district, but just also designate our office as an office for conducting business of the district. So candidly, we pretty much always do this for all of our clients, but just the history of this district and the in-house operations and the fact that you all did all the record keeping on site in the past, we just never have. So I think a pretty minor compliance item won't change anything about the way we do business. So we'll just make sure we're able to stay in compliance.
So do we need a motion to?
Yes, we do. We need a motion to approve the order.
I'll make a motion, we accept 610 River Plantation Drive.
To approve the order designating.
To approve the order and Smith
both.
Murdoch's office also as a listed office.
Got it. Thanks, Tim.
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Before we go into executive session, I do have a question for you, Davis. Can I give the fire department a key so they can get started on this? Has the lease been signed?
I have not seen the signed lease back yet, but let me check on that.
Okay.
So Austin's obviously not on, and I'll check on that.
Okay, all right. Okay. All right. Anything else before we go into executive real quick? Okay. All right. We're going to adjourn to go into executive session.
Are you gonna be voting after?
We're not gonna be
executive?
voting on anything.
Okay.
Oh, possibly. I forgot about that. Yeah, possibly.
What are you gonna be voting on?
Installation of
It's
electronic
a
stuff.
security issue, yeah.
Okay.
All right, we're back in session at 8:11 PM on May 13th. And does anybody have any motions or anything they want to make?
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the security upgrades at well number 2, well number 3, and the boardroom.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, next meeting is scheduled, next regular meeting is scheduled for June 27th at 6:30 PM.
You might mention the Wednesday meeting is also scheduled.
Oh, there's a special meeting scheduled for Wednesday, May 15th. I doubt it'll even be up by then, but
2 p.m.
anyway, at 2 PM to canvass the election possibly, or to certify the election.
My guess is that'll be canceled, Julie,
Yeah.
and my guess is also that we will end up needing to call another
one.
special meeting related to the election at some point, but I'll have more information there as soon as I have it. So.
Okay, all right. Other than that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I have a move we adjourn.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.